there's a lot of renewable energies that are coming about and new ways to create energy, solar, hydro, nuclear even, and I think another one I'm familiar with, CHP. Which one of those do you think is the most realistic to the country that we can use?
I mean, I think like, no energy source is perfect. Like everything there's trade-offs in every single one. Um, One of the things about like renewables, like wind and solar, is if the wind's not blowing or sun's not shining, you're not going to be able to make, energy like that. They've got off switches, but they don't always have the on switch that you might want. Now you compare that with energy storage, which is what is happening now, and you can kind of firm up that generation. So you can store the energy whenever it's being produced, and then like actually put it to the grid whenever it wants to be consumed. And so there's, those types of give and take. But if that combination of those resources is too expensive, then things like natural gas, combined heat and power, like you're talking about, like other types of things, like probably still going to be needed in the uh, in the near term future, unless we figure out nuclear or other types of stuff like that. But when looking at like, if you look at like around the country, like in all the interconnection queues and what is trying to get built, I mean, a lot of that is solar and storage. And I would argue that one of the reasons why we're seeing like a lot of solar and storage is it's just a very modular technology. It's like, you can take the actual unit of like, a solar is a solar panel, and that's something that, a single person can carry around, and you can mass produce them in factories. And the same thing with batteries, the modules and like the units and all those things. I mean, generally you can get them down to the point where like the component parts of them are able to be just put out of factories, and you don't need big specialized uh, uh, factories or other types of things to do that. And so if you want to build 130 megawatts of solar or 132 megawatts of solar, like that's a really easy change to make. You're not going to be able to get 200 megawatts of gas turbine, but then get 203. You're not going to be able to like get them in the same amount of like, increments as easily as you would with, something like solar. And we've seen this actually in other technologies as well. In general, we're not building like the large, big units like we used to, like the gigawatt scale, like the big coal plant, big nuclear plant stuff. We're building things in smaller chunks. We've been doing that with natural gas turbines and other types of technologies. And that's why you're seeing kind of this like push towards, things like small modular nuclear and other things like that too.